going on, guys? This is going to be a review of the Joby GorillaPod Hybrid. This is basically a mobile tripod for any camcorder, and so I've had this product for about 2 to 3 weeks or so, and I feel that I've used it enough to where I can give you guys a pretty fair review on it. So as I was saying, the Joby GorillaPod is basically a mobile tripod. Now what I'm using right now, by the way, this is the iPhone 4S recording this. I'm actually kind of rigged it with GorillaPod Mobile, and I've put that on my actual tripod. And this is about the key difference I want to point out to this video, is that this is a great tripod. However, it's not a tripod that you want to have for a full replacement. You know, if you're going to be doing YouTube videos or some sort of professional video where you do it on like a regular basis, maybe even like a daily basis, then I recommend that you look elsewhere. However, if you're on the go, if you like to take your camera with you when you ride your bike, or wherever you live, like for instance, I live in Erie, Pennsylvania, and we have the peninsula. During the summer, we get some great sunsets there. A lot of people are there. This would be amazing to have there, simply because you can throw any camera on here and get a great shot. So I'm going to show you guys around the unit really quick. As you can see, tripod means there's 3, so these all fold out as such. And now each one of these joints is actually bendable, so you can really customize this to fit just about anything. In fact, I'm going to put up a picture right now of when I was building my Power Mac G5. This was an absolute great use for the Joby GorillaPod, because I could just set the camera in some awkward angle that I would never be able to do before, and I was able to get a nice shot of inside my case. But putting that aside, these legs give you some great versatility. I've seen tons of pictures on Twitter of people that are on the go and they're riding their bike. They have these strapped around their bicycle seat, and obviously when they're stopped, that'd be kind of crazy doing that while you're going. Anywho, they have them strapped around their bike seat like this, and they're able to get a great shot of a lake or something. So these arms here, I don't know what to call them, legs or arms, but they offer lots of great versatility and tons of options for you guys to get a great picture and or video. So now moving up here, you have the mechanism that the camera sits on. So first I'll start off with this. This right here, as you can see inside of there, at least hopefully, is a little aluminum ball, and the way you loosen that is by twisting this little knob right here. So once you twist that, that will come loose, and now you are able to freely move this around any direction that you would like. And I want to point out that when it's facing this way, if it's like this, you can actually do a full 90-degree turn on either side. So this is great if you have, just like a little point-and-shoot camera, and you want to get that nice portrait shot rather than landscape. This is a nice way to do it. And I'm sure as you've noticed, we have a nice little level on here. Although I do wish that maybe they had another one here, so that when you are doing a landscape shot, you can see that, have it go the opposite direction. Then that way you'd be able to see whether or not you have a nice level shot. But besides that, it's a great feature to have. Now, you may be asking how you actually mount the camera on here. Well, that's pretty easy, and no, you don't have to screw this on. This whole top part actually comes off simply by clicking this little button in and then pulling this back. And so this screws on to the camera just like so. This is easy to use with a quarter. However, this can be done with your nails, but I recommend you get like a coin, like a quarter or something. That makes it much easier. So now that I already have this guy out and detached, I'm going to put it on my camcorder. This is the Canon Vixia HF-M400. In case you're interested, I have an unboxing video on my channel. Feel free to watch it. So here's the tripod, standard tripod mount, and this will go right in there. So I've now secured that in there. I used a quarter, by the way. I just didn't have one on hand. But as you can see, it is secure. And now to put it on the tripod, I'm simply going to slide it in. You hear that satisfying snap, and I trust this enough that I'll hold my $400 camera upside down and shake it, and we're okay. It's a very sturdy mount. So hopefully this shot will give you guys a good idea of what your camera will look like on this tripod. I'll go ahead and fold out my screen here, turn the camera on, give you guys sort of an idea. And so as I've said earlier, this level here, very, very nice and very easy to tweak. So I'm simply going to loosen that, and you can see the little bubble moving. Lets you know when you have a nice level shot right around there-ish. But as mentioned, I could actually rotate this all the way vertically, tighten that, and there you go. And this is a decently heavy camera. I believe in the product description it says that this can handle cameras up to 1 kilogram, but I'm not exactly sure how much this weighs. And this is just a standard camcorder, and this holds it just fine, as you guys can see. So I'll loosen that up, bring it back, and retighten it, and just like that, I've changed my angle. Of course it's not straight, I didn't really try, but you guys get the idea of what this product can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys, sort of a real-time demonstration of one of my favorite features about this tripod, and that's getting some awkward angles. So I'm going to go and put the tripod somewhere down here. So as you can see, I'm going to angle my camera down, just here-ish, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this leg hanging off the table somewhere down here, and I'm going to have the other two, these two, supporting it up top here. So because like I said, these are so versatile, I can simply move these up to a point where they're almost, horizontal. Try to get my hand out of the way here for you guys. And this, I can just take and bring down like here somewhere, just, for now, whatever. And the other two, I can just simply move down until they're flush with the table. And before you know it, you have something that looks like that. And it's a pretty sturdy alternative, and it's a weird angle. Like I said, this is what I used when I was building my Power Mac G5. I got a great shot of the lower part of the case by easily doing this. And I'm free to loosen this and move it around. I can even go like full 360, and I can get some really awkward angles that I wouldn't be able to get with any other tripod. And as I was saying earlier, this is great when you're on the go and you don't want to be carrying around, a full-size tripod. If you're just traveling, on your bike or even just on your hand, you could wrap this around, like a tree branch, get like a nice higher up shot. Just if you can be creative, then this is probably one of the best mobile tripods that you can buy. And now at the end of the day, once you're all packed up and ready to go, you can turn your camera off, hide the screen, click the button, take your camera off, fold this up, and you're done. So what do I think about the Joby GorillaPod Hybrid? I think that it's an absolute fantastic tripod. However, I think it's not for everybody. Personally, someone like me, since I'm not really out in the woods taking a lot of pictures and stuff like that, or having the need to get really creative with a camera angle, I'm really fine with just a standard tripod like I'm using now. However, there's definitely a market for this. Like I said earlier, someone that takes their camera with them when they're hiking with their family, or if they're just riding their bike by the lake and you want to get some nice shots at night, then honestly there is no better alternative than this. And it has useful features like the level, the easily removable tripod mount, the very flexible arms that let you mount it virtually anywhere. I highly recommend this product if you're into looking for something like that. However, like me, I just need a tripod that can get me through some YouTube videos, not really move, just kind of stand on the ground and hold the camera. Then this might not be worth the price tag for everybody. But like I said, if you're in the market for something like this, you want a tripod to have on the go, then there really is no better alternative for your $39.95, which, as you guys could have guessed, is what this costs from Joby's website, linked right in the description. So I highly recommend this product if you're into that market. However, if not, then you may be better off just getting a standard tripod. So that's pretty much what I had to think about this product. As an overall product, I really can't see anything really wrong with this. Maybe it could be a little bigger, but then like I said, you start talking just normal tripods. This is meant to be mobile, and it does that job extremely well. So before I ramble anymore, thank you guys very much for watching. I'm at CPU Kid on Twitter. I want to give a huge thanks to Joby.com for sponsoring this. And last time I'm going to say this, links in the description. Please do yourselves a favor and check them out. They have tons of great tripods for all sorts of different cameras. So that about wraps it up, guys. I'm out of things to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you back here very soon.